Human beings are complex creatures faced with the daily challenge of surviving while interacting with the environment. Your brain is a 3-pound personal computer filled with billions of neurons to support this challenge. While the brain does everything it can to help us out, sometimes it can get us into a little bit of trouble. Your average house cat probably doesn't have very deep thoughts about its existence. Cats just do what cats do. Their brains generally operate in an instinctive and automatic way. Humans are unique in their ability to engage in conscious and controlled thinking as well as the instinctive primitive thinking. We use a dual process system to think. The automatic processing can be thought of as your subconscious or even your intuition. The subconscious is wary of costs and benefits and quickly guides our behaviors in ways to ensure survival. Infants are born with the ability to form expectations and use those expectations to make predictions. Everyone has a certain tool set of automatic functions. Fear in particular is an interesting reflexive tool. Humans have a biological preparedness to learn certain fears. Researchers found that babies instinctively know to fear spiders over other things like cars or monkeys, even though there is nothing inherently scary about an 8-legged bug. By 6 months old, babies are also afraid of people who don't look like members of their in-group. Humans have a biological predisposition to favor our in-group and avoid the out-group. But don't get the wrong idea. Your subconscious doesn't operate on a rational or logical level. It only wants to make life easier for us by making mental shortcuts or heuristics. Conscious processing takes care of all the complicated stuff that requires effort and energy to use logic and reasoning. When you mix the two thinking models together, things start to get tricky. The conscious and subconscious work interdependently and are pretty good friends. Your conscious control center even adopts values and beliefs to support the impulses and heuristics created by your subconscious. Most of the time, heuristics serve as pretty convenient and accurate tools, and they also lead to stereotyping. Remember, the subconscious isn't rational, and it's not always practical. Think back to humans' natural inclination to favor our in-group and avoid out-group members. Because the conscious mind wants to support the intuitive mind, this means that humans get carried away into shaping values, beliefs, and attitudes to fit heuristics such as stereotypes. Forming cognitive attitudes to accommodate an instinctual avoidance of outgroup members can often lead to deep prejudice. As humans, we feel like we have complete control and understanding of the reasons behind our beliefs and decisions. However, the subconscious has a powerful influence and can ultimately affect our attitudes. So why do some people cling to things so irrational as prejudiced ideas? It's likely that such irrational thinking results from an overly harmonious relationship between the conscious and subconscious minds. Challenging your intuition takes a lot of cognitive effort and energy because your subconscious and conscious don't want to work against each other. The good news is that with our conscious minds, we have a great capacity to learn new things. We also have the ability to train our minds to transform once cognitively difficult tasks into quick, automatic behaviors. Remember how tying shoelaces was once so challenging that we needed a rhyme to work through it? Through motivation and practice, tying laces became second nature. It's helpful to have a simple understanding of why and an awareness of when we are likely to form certain attitudes. If you have ever decided you didn't like someone just because they rubbed you the wrong way, you probably trusted your gut feeling and formed a negative attitude to fit that instinct. It's possible that you formed your negative attitude simply because you were hungry. Or for that matter, sleepy, sick, drunk, pregnant, socially pressured, in a bad mood, or mentally exhausted. People are significantly more likely to be prejudiced when their cognitive resources are depleted or tied down. It's not necessary to dissect and rethink every single impulse to break or prevent attitudes. This would end up using so much mental energy that it would be counterproductive. People who spend a great amount of energy trying to communicate fair-mindedness have less mental resources for actual interactions. That kind of intense self-monitoring engages a part of your brain responsible for strategy and planning. Neurologists believe that Westerners in particular excessively engage this part of the brain. Doing so can actually leave your prefrontal medial cortex underdeveloped, which is responsible for building narratives to connect yourself to others. When our minds are constantly racing, we aren't with our counterparts. And if we aren't with our counterparts, we aren't creating stories. Instead of thinking our way through, we can act our way to new attitudes. People assume that attitudes are the best predictors of behavior, but it's actually the other way around. Behavior predicts attitude. Researchers conducted a study in which participants either held straws between their teeth or by pursing their lips while they listened to jokes. Those who held the straws with their teeth, creating a smile, perceived the jokes as significantly more funny and enjoyable than the participants sporting a grimace. People can change their attitude by changing behaviors. The irrational subconscious can make this a difficult task as it is mainly concerned with survival. For example, when exposed to a member of one's outgroup, the amygdala might activate a fight or flight response indicating a threat. Thankfully, our brains are highly plastic and open to change. By simply smiling in the presence of an outgroup member, you can reduce bias and prejudiced attitudes. With frequent practice, the subconscious will eventually learn to turn off that knee-jerk threat response, and your conscious mind won't even need to rationalize your irrational instincts. The human brain tries to help make life easy, and it makes a few mistakes along the way. Thanks to our conscious minds, we can actively challenge our intuition to learn new ways of thinking. You've heard it before. Be the change you want to see in the world. With motivation and practice, we can shake the attitudes we thought we understood.